Well, welcome back to 1984. This is David Crayden reading Part 2, Chapter 7 of George Orwell's 1984. And just a quick little observation here. I was at the million-person march yesterday in Ottawa, and that was a 1984 event. Why? Because a bunch of counter-protesters showed up to announce that it was fascism for parents to demand that their children report to them first before they report to teachers unions, and Justin Trudeau's government, the state. But of course, we all know from this book that fascism is about children reporting to the state and parents losing their rights over their children. That's a hallmark of fascism. And 1984 is all about that. We learn very early in the book that you can't trust the kids next door because they might be spying on you just as they're spying on their parents and reporting back to the state through the various clubs they belong to. One's even called the Spies in 1984. And there's the Anti-Sex League. All of these groups, much like the young pioneers in the Soviet Union or the Hitler Youth in Nazi Germany, were mechanisms to control children, to ensure indoctrination, and to ensure their loyalty. Their first loyalty was always to the state and not to the family, to their mother and father. So, are we living in an Orwellian world where extremists, usually on the far left, but also on the far right, use projection to distract your attention? They project their political problems, their political values on their opponents. And that's exactly what's happening in the world we live in. So without further ado, I want to get into Chapter 7. Things are getting very interesting because if you recall, Winston has been invited to go to O'Brien's house. And O'Brien's one of these inner party people that Winston believes is safe. He thinks O'Brien is on his side, that he's quietly working against Big Brother and the establishment. He believes that based on a feeling. O'Brien seems to be more affable, more ebullient, friendlier than your average party person. So Winston believes he's on his side. And just because of eye contact and body language and the few words they've exchanged now, because he actually just formally met him for the first real time. They have nodded at each other in crowded rooms, but they never actually spoke, as far as we know from the book. And this is the first time. So when O'Brien has invited Winston to come to his house some night to pick up a copy of the new Newspeak dictionary, edition 10, because he says Winston is obviously very adept at Newspeak, but he used a couple of words in his last article in the Times, which he said were inappropriate because those words had been obliterated, or they were no longer used, no longer a part of the new dictionary. So he wants to ensure that Winston has access to this dictionary. He's willing to give him a copy of it. It's not even available to the masses yet, not even available yet to the outer party people. But O'Brien has a copy and he wants to share that with Winston. So let's proceed with Chapter 7. Hi, this is David Crayden from Crayden's Right and Stand on Guard. Join the resistance. Resolve to resist. Become a member of this station. I've been practicing journalism in one form or another for over 30 years. I've worked in print, radio, and television for a lot of prestigious publications and media outlets. I was an Armed Forces Public Affairs officer. I worked on Parliament Hill. I know how Ottawa works, and I know how corrupt federal government can be. But you can play a part in opposing Justin Trudeau's government and Justin Trudeau's plans for Canada.
you can become a part of the Kraydens Right Resistance. Now, I urge you today, please support this station in any way you can. Ring that bell, subscribe, because that ensures you're at least going to continue to be able to watch these episodes. You'll beat the algorithm. But more importantly, I need your financial support. I hate to ask, but that's what I'm doing. I made a decision to pursue independent media because I believed it was the best possible route for me to take as a journalist and as a concerned citizen of Canada. So you can become a part of that. And at only $5, you can become a part of that on YouTube, on Substack, and with Buy Me a Coffee, a one-time donation. But I need your support. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. If you've already done that, if you're already supporting the station, thank you. But if you haven't,